Britain has been paying tribute to those who have died for their country in wars past and present. Wreaths have been laid at the cenotaph and in bases across Afghanistan to mark Remembrance Sunday. Despite what's expected to be a record year for the poppy appeal, a new poll for Sky News shows a growing number of people no longer believe Britain can win the war in Afghanistan. Our military events commentator, Alistair Bruce, has been watching this service of remembrance. Let's talk about the kind of background to it in a minute, Alistair. First of all, what was your take on the ceremony today?
I think it just went as it should, with the country increasingly feeling that it is at war. And I think remembrances have come and gone in many people's lives, and they've marked them. But now they really feel it, because we are palpably at war, and with it in the news all the time, and another announcement of a death today. It is so poignant to see the chance for the nation to stop and just think about it.
You know, taking a look at some of the units that took part in the ceremony today, Gurkha Rifles, Royal Logistics Corps, Irish Guards, these are all outfits that are doing business in Afghanistan.
They certainly are. The Irish Guards will be out in Afghanistan before too long, as will all the other troops and the reservists, and also the Navy and the Air Force in support. And so this is business for the armed forces today. What they need, I think, is that there is strong leadership from government to make sure that if they are fighting the battle, that they've got the nation behind them. And the poll today is unsettling for soldiers, and we must be aware this is unsettling for young men and women who are facing danger for the country.
Alistair, why don't you talk us through what happened today?
Well, I think the principal event, of course, is when Her Majesty the Queen lays her wreath, and Her Majesty represents the nation, of course, but for her, hearing every injury, every death brought to her first as sovereign, it's a very personal experience, remembrance. And she remembers the Second World War and her father leading the nation through that. And she had uncles killed in the First World War. So very much a representative of a generation that understands all that. There was Prince Harry representing his father, the Prince of Wales. He, of course, had been to Afghanistan himself and laying the wreath, because his father is in Canada at the moment, of the famous 3 feathers, representing what the Royal British Legion called the Afghan generation. And after he had laid his wreath, his brother, Prince William, also part of the Afghan generation, came forward to lay his wreath too. Now, Prince William has been coming to do this for a few years, but for Prince Harry, that's the first time he has played a part with his family at this, the National Memorial at the cenotaph. Prince William is training to be a helicopter pilot at the moment, and so wearing Royal Air Force uniform. Now, of course, it's not just the royal family who were present, but the government was represented by the Prime Minister, and on him perhaps even greater responsibility to make sure that the battle is well led and well resourced, and that the troops know that their back is fully covered in that he is winning the argument back in the United Kingdom. So for him, much in mind as he lays his wreath. And who knows what will happen between now and next year. We don't know what the general election will bring or who will be the Prime Minister then. It could be David Cameron, the leader of the opposition, who also laid his wreath. And I think for him, the challenge in the midst of this poignant reminder of the cost of war, of what he must do to be a leader if he were to be elected, and what that responsibility would be. It's not just dealing with hospitals, schools, it's leading in war, and that's a very different kind of quality than just winning in the latest political thing. Now, the generals and the commanders and the chiefs who have the responsibility also were here. We had the First Sea Lord on the right, the Chief of the General Staff and the Chief of the Air Staff, but particularly for the Chief of the General Staff in the middle there, General Sir David Richards, who knows that you've got so many troops, both training to go out and out there, and for the other 2 chiefs for supporting that.